What if everything you've been taught about the world is a lie? If all your understanding of the Earth's geography is just what they want you to know? Did you know that there are places on Earth where reality seems unreal and science can't provide an explanation? In the next few minutes, you will learn the unadulterated facts about some of the most unexplained geological anomalies on the planet. One of these places is the so-called Zone of Silence, or as the locals call it, La Zona del Silencio. Located in the Chihuahuan Desert near the Mapimi Basin in northern Mexico, this eerie and isolated strip of land has been the subject of scientific interest, paranormal speculation, and even conspiracy theories for decades. The best documented anomaly in the Zone of Silence is the complete blockage of radio, television, and satellite signals. Pilots who have flown over the area have reported sudden failures in navigational instruments, as if an unseen force were grabbing their plane and gently yanking it off course. But perhaps the most puzzling phenomenon of all is the unusually high number of meteorites crashing right here. Scientists acknowledge that meteor strikes in the region are well above the average number for the planet. Of course, with so many anomalies, conspiracy theories inevitably erupt. One of the most popular claims is that the Zone of Silence conceals an underground alien base or secret military facility. Indeed, the extreme isolation of the area makes it a perfect place for secret experiments and operations. And the fact that NASA itself has conducted research there adds fuel to the fire. The zone gained worldwide notoriety in 1970 when an Athena rocket, launched from a US military base in Utah, suddenly went off course and crashed right into the Zone of Silence. An astonishing coincidence, considering its trajectory wasn't even supposed to pass near Mexico. The US government immediately dispatched a team to salvage the wreckage. But some say the goal wasn't just to retrieve a lost missile, but to hide something much bigger. But that's not all. Another theory suggests that the Zone of Silence is a thin place in reality, a place where the fabric of space-time is weaker than usual. Could the zone harbor a natural wormhole, or even an interspatial rift? Eyewitnesses report seeing strange humanoid figures appearing and disappearing, as if they can hop between different worlds. Many lost travelers claim to have been guided by mysterious beings, tall, blonde, pale-skinned creatures who helped them before vanishing into thin air. This leads to an even more audacious hypothesis. Perhaps the Zone of Silence is a portal between our world and another. If this theory does contain a grain of truth, it could explain why radio waves are disappearing, why meteorites are crashing here in unusual numbers, and why navigational equipment is breaking down. Yet, there is no scientific evidence for this hypothesis. It is based mostly on eyewitness accounts and folklore. However, some researchers are convinced that something is buried deep beneath the desert that is causing these electromagnetic disturbances. According to ancient local legends, sky gods descended from the sky in fiery chariots, descriptions that closely resemble modern UFO encounters. There are also rumors that the zone may contain the remains of an advanced lost civilization, possibly even Atlantis, or something even more ancient. Could an ancient energy source buried deep underground be at the root of all these anomalies? If so, who put it there and for what purpose? Maybe we'll never know. But one thing is certain, there are other places in the world that are even more mysterious than the Zone of Silence. One of these places is the Baltic Sea anomaly, the strangest underwater discovery of the 21st century. Discovered in 2011 by a group of treasure hunters known as the Ocean X Team, the Baltic Sea anomaly is a massive circular structure located nearly 300 feet below the surface of the water. It is about 200 feet wide, with a distinct shape that resembles the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo's ship from Star Wars. No one knows what exactly it is. It doesn't resemble the usual geological formations, and its artificial silhouette suggests that this thing doesn't belong on Earth, let alone on the ocean floor. When divers and explorers tried to investigate the object, the mystery only deepened. It turned out that the anomaly had unnaturally straight lines, sharp edges, and even what looked like staircases or passageways carved into its surface. If that doesn't seem strange enough, the researchers discovered that electronic equipment refused to work near the structure. Sonar images often came back distorted and unclear. Cameras and radios stopped for no apparent reason, as if something inside the object was interfering with the technology. Even more ominously, the Ocean X team reported that their satellite phones and GPS units refused to function when they got too close, but immediately started working again once they moved away. This discovery opened the door to all sorts of theories. The most popular among them is that the anomaly represents a crashed alien flying saucer, possibly thousands, if not millions, of years old. Proponents of this theory point to its almost perfectly circular shape, unusual threading, and electrical disturbances that occur in close proximity. If this turns out to be true, it could be one of the most remarkable discoveries in the history of mankind, undeniable proof that we are not alone in the universe. Of course, not everyone believes this. Skeptics argue that such ideas are too sensational. According to them, the object is just a rare but natural rock formation left over from the last ice age. But if that's true, then why are electronics getting upset about it? To this question, they answer that the area could be rich in magnetic minerals or metals that could interfere with electronic devices. Whatever the truth, if the anomaly in the Baltic Sea is just a rock, it is certainly the strangest rock in human history. They also point to the fact that the sonar images used to detect the anomaly are low resolution and highly distorted, meaning that what looks like a giant spaceship or an ancient structure may actually be a simple underwater ridge whose appearance appears unusual only on scans. Because the object has never been fully explored, they believe it is simply a case of pareidolia, a phenomenon in which the human brain tries to recognize familiar shapes and figures where none actually exist. But the theories far from end there. Another hypothesis claims that the anomaly could be the remains of a secret underwater base or facility built during World War II. According to this idea, the Nazis, known for their experiments with cutting-edge technology, may have built something under the Baltic Sea. It's even possible it was a secret research complex. Some go even further, believing that the lost Die Glock the Bell, a Nazi anti-gravity device capable of altering space-time, is hidden there and is rumored to have disappeared at the end of the war. You'll learn more about the incredible history of this experiment in our detailed video on the subject, which should be up on your screen somewhere. But perhaps the most unexplained geological anomaly on Earth is the Patoma Crater, located in the wild forests of Siberia. In fact, it is one of the strangest and most baffling geological formations on our planet. It looks like a massive, almost perfectly circular mound of fragmented rock, with a strange indentation in the middle, as if a giant's fist had struck the earth and left a scar that never heals. At first glance, you might think it was an erupting volcano, but there's no lava, no volcanic rock, no sign of the typical explosion. It doesn't quite fit the shape for a meteorite impact either, and the strangest thing is that the trees around seem to have been affected by radiation. Proponents of conspiracy theories waste no time in pouncing on the possible cause. Some ufologists believe that the crater is not the result of a natural phenomenon, but the crash of an alien craft that has burrowed deep into the earth. But there's one major problem. No extraterrestrial materials have ever been found in the area. If something had actually been buried there, it would probably have been discovered by now. And besides, why would a highly advanced alien civilization crash twice in the same remote location in Siberia? If you count Tunguska, it's certainly a curious theory, but it lacks evidence. There is, however, another possibility that is often overlooked. During the Cold War, the USSR conducted numerous secret experiments. What if the Patoma Crater was the result of testing in the Siberian wilderness of an unknown weapon or energy source? This could explain the traces of radiation and unusual anomalies in the trees in the area. It could be a nuclear test, an underground explosion, or even an early attempt to harness anti-gravity technology. This seems like the only plausible and logical explanation, with one small exception. The crater is probably hundreds of years older than the Soviet era. And besides, why would anyone test a new weapon in complete isolation and then just forget the place? Governments don't usually lose sight of the areas where they have detonated powerful devices. So, what is the truth? The most widely accepted scientific explanation is that the crater is the result of a steam explosion caused by underground gas or magma, a rare type of volcanic activity that leaves geological deformation but looks nothing like an ordinary volcano. Except, that's not a perfect answer either, because no active magma chambers have been found in the area. Since science can't provide an explanation for these and many other similar objects, how can we trust what we've been taught about geography and Earth history? Because yes, there are many more such objects and artifacts about which scientists propound foolish theories or simply shrug their shoulders.